Welcome to Habs Unfiltered. I'm your host, Blaine Putney. I'm joined by my co-host, Treg Wilson.
Hello, hello.
And this is a very special episode. We're doing a little bit of a crossover with the Raw Knuckles podcast with Chris Nyland and Tim Stapleton. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Oh, it's our
Thanks
pleasure.
for having us. Awesome.
It's hard to say no to a Canadians legend and someone who played for the Leafs for a few games.
Yeah, like two. I don't even know if four. Oh, okay, three's a few. So yeah, no, I played a few games.
That's four more games in the NHL than either one of us have ever.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, but I just do whatever Nux tells me to do. So that's where I'm at now.
I do whatever
fear.
Blaine tells
Like
me.
be here, I'll be there. If he would have said he would have joined the Navy, I would have joined the Navy.
We got full benefits.
That's right. 100%.
Awesome.
So we're just we'll cover a bunch of stuff. We're just gonna shoot the breeze for a while, however long you guys are gonna give us, and we'll go from there.
It works. Yeah.
For me, it's really neat to talk to you again, Chris. You don't remember it, but we met a couple of times in Halifax when we were playing ball hockey tournaments,
Yeah.
and you beat the shit out of us.
Yeah. I don't recall, to be honest with you, but
I got jerseyed. Let's put
not
it that
being
way.
aloof, not being, but I don't recall playing ball hockey in fucking Halifax. I just don't. I know I played in Afghanistan.
Yep.
But trying to think. I know I played a lot of ice hockey in Halifax.
You don't know your ball hockey stats?
No, I don't. I don't have them. I never got 20 in ball hockey.
Okay.
You weren't on that emphasis plane ride from Afghanistan, were you?
No, and I got nothing to say about that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good answer.
I don't
Good
know
answer.
What it is. I'm kind of like, well, can we type about it? Because I want to know what it is.
You
I'll
can ask
talk.
Knuckles. You can ask Knuckles off the air.
I wasn't on that trip.
Fair enough.
I wasn't on that trip.
Well, Treg, you didn't go to that one, did you? That deployment?
To Afghanistan?
Yeah.
No, I was in the Red Sea. I was doing the pirate operations off Somalia.
Cool.
I wasn't doing that.
Ran out of pirates in the Caribbean, went over to the Red Sea.
Yeah, I had to go over the
Yeah.
Red Sea and do the
Yeah.
Somalia thing.
I got nothing to contribute on that one. Like, took my kids to school. Does that work?
That's just as
That can be
dangerous
dangerous.
sometimes.
That's
Okay,
that can
it
be
is,
just
it
as
is.
dangerous.
Same anxiety, same level of anxiety, at least for sure.
Especially with all those single moms hanging around.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Let's see.
So, Treg, you had you wanted to kick it off with a question there.
All right, so Knuckles, you and Tim, you kicked off Raw Knuckles podcast. It seemed like a kind of a similar feel to Off the Cuff show, but with a wider appeal and more guests from the NHL. Was that by design, or did you want to go into a different direction, or did you guys just decide to up and change things?
Yeah, not really anything to do with off the cuff. I wasn't looking to replicate anything there, to be honest with you. Radio show is a lot different than doing this. I just didn't want to have anything to do with that after what happened with me. So
Right.
yeah, the furthest thing from my mind was off the cuff when we started this. I was looking to do a podcast. I had met Tim with a few other guys at an event that we were at together on Zoom, and we got to know each other a little bit and ended up meeting. And I liked what I heard from Tim, liked his humor, I liked his knowledge of the game. And I said, you know what? I think if I'm going to start a podcast and bring someone in with me, I said I would surely like a guy like Tim. And also, I think it's good having the discrepancy in our ages. Tim a little younger, me a little older, and a lot older. But yeah, I think it's a good mix. I mean, we've both got hockey brains, and we're hockey guys, and doesn't matter how old you are, hockey guys seem to jive no matter what the age.
Yeah, it's kind of universal. The stories are parallel. this how you get there. It's the times change, but those stories they stay similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like I was just somewhere where like I was talking, I ran into a couple old teammates and the guy I was with was like, you guys are just, it's like you don't leave. It's like you left off, right where you left off or whatever. That made no sense what I said right now. I'm kind of mumbling. Anyways, cut. No, I was just saying you kind of like, you just don't miss a beat. And I'm sure that's relatable to like, a lot of things, right? Like every sport. And you kind of have that locker room, chemistry and like Nuck said, I mean, I just met Nux, but it's kind of like, it feels like we've played together. And so it's always nice to connect with someone and I'm still transitioning from the game. So it's awesome to kind of connect with other players in the game and kind of, at least try something and have some sort of structure. And yeah, everything he said, he's exactly right about me. Probably more. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate the compliments, partner. And yeah, that's really it.
You're the youth and the looks of the show, just like Treg is.
I'm
Yeah.
older than you, Blade.
I know.
So he's lying. See, that's one
No.
thing we don't have. Knox never lies to me. We never lie to each
No.
other.
No.
No, I'm 48 years old, so I'm the old guy in the room. Well,
Mm.
according with Blade,
yeah.
maybe not Nux. Sorry, Nux, but
I feel a lot older than I am.
How old are you, Blaine?
46.
Fuck, you guys are all old,
Right?
So
Tim's
old.
young. Like I was talking
I'm
young.
39.
Tim's young.
I'm not even, yeah. Fuck. My
Haven't
whole
even
life
hit-
ahead of me.
You haven't even
Tim's-
started going down that hill.
Tim's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
girlfriend's age. That's why we hit it off.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome.
Oh man.
So,
Yeah,
go
go ahead.
Blade. No, I was
no,
gonna
you
say
go.
so now that Colorado won the cup, how cool is it that Manson, the first Northeasterner to win the Stanley Cup since 1986, when you, Chris, and
Yeah.
Randy Boychuk won it? How cool is that Northeastern finally won the cup after all these years?
Listen, that's cool. Doesn't Kip? He played at Northeastern. Obviously, I played against his dad for years, Dave, and I went over and spoke at Northeastern. Excuse me. When he was there, I went over and spoke to the team a couple times, and I remember him come up to me and say, "Yeah, you fought my dad." Blah blah blah. And it was just a lot of youthful exuberance, and he was all excited to meet someone who fought his dad. And I heard nothing but good things about him at Northeastern. And he got to the NHL. He established himself. Tough kid, pain in the ass to play against. He scored a couple timely goals here in the playoffs. Good on him. I'm happy for the kid. Certainly love watching guys have success. Especially when there's a connection there somewhere. So yeah, it's cool.
Was he asking for tips
Did you
on how
win
to
the
take on
fight?
his old man?
Did you win the fight?
Charlie, the father, yeah, that was not
Sorry, guys. I know you're doing the interview here.
lightweight,
I didn't know the
Timmy.
answer.
Come on, Tim, lightweight. No, he was a tough kid, but yeah, we and a lot of respect for those guys. But I certainly have respect for his dad for sure.
Now, the Canadians have an opening for assistant captain. Either one of you in the running, or
No, we're both retired. Yep.
Captain?
No, assistant coach.
assistant coach? Sorry.
Captain.
I have more better chance of being the assistant captain than assistant coach. That's
No, I don't think that is certainly anything they would consider someone like me. I'm not good at powdering asses and changing diapers. I've done that already. I don't need to. Listen, there's some guys there, certainly kind of throwback players, but a lot of guys, there are a lot of guys today that are a little fucking twinkle toes, and you got to pamper some of them. And I didn't like that when I fucking played back then, when there were guys like that. I don't like it now. I don't like guys that don't come to play every night. I didn't like it back then. I don't like it fucking now. Things don't change that way with me. And, it might seem like I'm picking on today's play, but I don't. I mean, I call a spade a spade. If I see a guy out there dogging it, for the majority of the time he plays games. I had a coach tell me you have one bad game in 10. Now I set a goal not to have bad games or play like dog shit. And there were nights my legs didn't go and I tried the best I could and I just couldn't get there. And usually if that happened, I go out and get in a fight or I do something else if the legs weren't there. Where some guys, if the legs aren't there, you're fucked. You can't even do anything else. You can't get in a fight because you can't fucking fight and you can't help the team. So you go out there and try as hard as you can. And I respect that about guys who come to show. Brendan Gallagher, perfect example. Guy comes to play. Did he struggle a little bit, the pandemic and all that? Sure. He had some issues. The whole league did, I believe. I mean, that such a difficult time everybody went through, playing in front of no fans, fucking putting a mask on, fucking clowns, the whole thing, and then you get on the bench and you're sitting together, fucking spitting on each other and no masks. Like the coaches behind there with masks. It was ridiculous. Hee-haw.
So you're saying you don't want to be the assistant coach?
I would love to work with Marty, but I just don't see it happening. You can't have an assistant coach that'll be firing fucking tablets up in the stands. Okay.
I'd like to see that. I think Torts is going to end up doing that in Philadelphia. I'd like.
Who's in the running for the assistant right now? Any names pop?
A couple of francophone names, and then someone mentioned, I think it was Eric Engels today, mentioned Rick Bowness.
No.
Yeah. Ricky Bones. Yeah, I don't know.
I heard of a couple Q guys that I couldn't pronounce their name if I tried, and then Bonus. I heard Bonus today, so that's the only thing I've heard.
Who knows? Ricky Bones. He's a good assistant coach. I believe a much better assistant coach than head coach. He's just it's a nice guy, a sweetheart of a guy, and head coaching. Yeah, I just don't think. Yeah, he accepted it and did it. Made a few bucks there, probably more than he did as an assistant, and nice for him. But he's a really good assistant coach.
Now, you were talking about the toughness that it takes to make a difference. Do you think there's still room for those tough customers?
No. I mean, yeah, like a little bit. You look at Lucic play. All right, there's one. Wilson, Reeves a little bit. They're just those guys. A guy like Reeves is a little more of a deterrent now. Is he going to go out and beat everybody up every night? No. But when they play Washington and Wilson's there after what happened, you have somebody there at least can stand up and make the other team take notice. But that's fucking long gone from the game. The odd time they'll never take it out. I don't believe to leave it in. So when maybe two guys that are 5'5" yelling at each other one night, maybe scratching each other in the corners, then they can get so pissed off at each other they might decide to get in a little cat fight one night.
Ruin their manicure.
Yeah, I'm 5'7", so those 5'5".
I know. I was not alluding. I
yeah.
was not alluding to you there, Timothy.
Yeah. No, I don't know if those guys that you got to at least play, right? I mean, I don't know. Did Colorado have one of those guys considered? Not
Manson, I think, was one of the only ones.
Yeah, he's like scoring goals though.
Yeah.
You're talking about like the guys that don't even know there was like a puck out there. Those kind of guys.
There's no heavyweights in the NHL anymore.
No,
there's not a heavyweight anymore. There's not a Probert or a Domi or a Nyland or anyone like that. Like it's Delorier maybe is a.
Well, Probert could play, man.
Another one.
Yeah, like you count on one hand how many guys you would have in the league that you probably wouldn't want to go up against. But I personally, because I grew up watching hockey in the 80s, I think that's a deterrent on the game. I don't think they should have put the enforcer rule and changed the whole game like that. I think you're getting more. I think you're getting more clutching and grabbing and hooking and stuff like that because you can get away with it. Your stars are not protected anymore. And I think that's a deterrent on the game. Personally, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I don't, I'll be honest with you. I don't miss it. It just, the game has changed so much. You can't slash guys now. You can't touch a guy with your stick. Cross checking's the next thing, which they really should, do something about. If they're gonna do something about the slashing, the cross checking is ridiculous sometimes. And it's hard to really be able to retaliate something like that. You can't do that anymore. It's like I find it foolish, when two guys fight with it's bad enough with helmets. Now they got mat cages, the visor. It's like crazy. It's like, why fight, and then, the game, they've gotten away from it. It just never come back. I think that what kind of hurt it was like all them muscle heads that come in and all them stage fights where guys, they were on steroids and all like huge, and they go out there and all right, we're gonna go tonight. And I look back in the 80s and 70s and stuff, a lot of that was, it was prevalent, but I think it was more spontaneous back in that time. But who knows? Those times are gone. And honestly, sometimes I look back at some of the shit I did and I go, what the hell are you thinking? But that was the game. Like some stupid shit went on.
Like the 87 playoffs.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah.
And people love seeing that, but fucking be part of it and tell me how much you fucking love it. I mean, I have fun. I have fun doing it, but there's some scary shit that happens out there, especially back in those days. And, I don't think it should be used as a tactic anymore, intimidating. Yeah, if you got some tough guys on the team, great. But the fighting, going, trying to intimidate guys, I don't know how much that really works anymore.
The game's evolved, and we've seen the final that we just watched is probably some of the best hockey we've seen in a few years. And it's two teams that they're built on speed and skill as opposed to trying to muck it in the corners.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought the playoffs were kind of weird. I thought like early on, like there was like blowouts with no like, I was telling Nux, like if I was on the team that was winning like 5-1, like I would be like, someone's gonna send a message, some way or another. But like it just seemed like they were just waiting for the game to be over, and it was just kind of missing a little bit of that playoff feel. But then as the playoffs went on, it was awesome. I thought the finals, I had Colorado to win, but at one point in this series, I was like, man, I don't know. Yeah, I was rooting for both. It would have been cool to see Tampa win 3 in a row. I don't know if we'll ever see that, it was all in all, it was like even yesterday, like, and then we talk about, there's scoring now, I guess, like a lot more scoring, but even yesterday's 2-1 game was awesome. Like that was just a playoff hockey game that's always been like that, and it was good to see.
Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
Tim picked Colorado.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you guys were just, and
when it was down to, he picked Colorado when it was down to like 2 teams.
Yeah, when game one, I had, it was game one. I'm like, Colorado's gonna win.
Well, I picked Colorado.
He had them from the get-go.
I had him beating Tampa too.
Yep.
He did. Same here.
Actually, I had Colorado playing Florida, and I'll never pick that again.
I had Colorado playing Florida too, and I will never pick the Panthers again.
Yeah,
unless Joe Quenneville was there, and he's not. And though that was the most disappointing performance by a hockey team, I think, ever in the playoffs.
It was almost like I was looking forward to that. That was I don't know, and it was just like dead.
It's almost like they didn't even show up.
Yeah, it's like, listen, you might not like the coach. I don't know if that was the case, but here's the deal: you're playing against your cross-state rival, Tampa Bay. And you show up like that, you don't even, they didn't even make it ugly. They didn't even get nasty out. It was like crazy. The year before, right? Previous year, it was unbelievable. The games they had with each other, they wanted to kill each other. It was like, I mean, where'd that go? Totally different. I don't know.
Can you imagine like Colorado, Detroit in the 90s having a series like that? It never happened. You know what I mean? Like,
just crazy. No, I can't imagine that. Maybe
Mm.
maybe because they don't go to strip joints after, game 3 or something like these guys
Mhm.
supposedly did.
Yeah, what's
That's
a
the
strip
rumor.
joint? What's a strip joint?
Mhm.
Gentlemen's club.
As a sailor, I have no idea.
Never been to one. I worked in one for 3 years. Never been to one.
Yeah,
I did not live in
as
one.
the stripper or just like what?
No, I was a waiter. I was a
Oh,
waiter.
okay.
No one wants to see this naked. Trust me, no one wants to see this naked. No,
We pay him to keep his clothes on.
that's
Yeah,
correct.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
until they're out in that ship for about 4 months and they're
Yeah.
like,
No, not
Sha-
really.
no, no, it's still the same.
They're still like keep your clothes on. Keep your
Yeah,
clothes
he's
Yeah.
more 7 month pretty. You hit the 7th month, maybe. Yeah, and we were talking. You mentioned Brunette. The way he was kind of let go, that kind of seemed odd to me. He was nominated for a Jack Adams, and then they walked
no,
away.
well, it wasn't odd to me. He didn't get it done in the playoffs. And they obviously, they, you know, look to him as being the guy that was the problem. He couldn't, with that team, you look at him, should you have to motivate him? Sometimes you do, but you're in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You shouldn't have to be motivating guys to play. And, where they didn't show up to play, that had to have something to do with it. It had to. And for a guy that was nominated or not, like he obviously didn't get their attention because they didn't do shit in the playoffs. It was disappointing.
So talking about coaches and playoffs and stuff like that, Dom Ducharme was coach of Montreal. They made it to the Stanley Cup final. By Christmas of the next season, he had one of the worst records in Habs history and was fired. Was that a Carey Price was the reason Montreal went to they were, or and Dom Ducharme was just standing behind the bench, or would that you'd say that was a lot of things this year was a result of Weber being injured, Price being injured, and really not on Dom's shoulders. Do you understand?
Yeah, I don't know if the guys really like Dom. All right, the other guy got fired. What can you do? Julian's gone. They bump him into that spot, and next thing comes to playing the playoffs. I mean, let's face it, they were almost out of it, right? They're down 3-1 the Leafs. They're gone. Season's over. He's like, hello. And then all of a sudden they roar back, and it seemed like they came together as a group. And in spite of the coach, did what they did. They had great leadership. A lot of people, that's all I ever heard up here. Some of the smart asses on different shows, they say, oh yeah, leadership. What's the leadership? Oh, he's good in the room, this and that. Well, if you know anything about the game, been around the game, that is a big piece. And to have a guy like Weber in that room and playing the way he was on the ice, coupled with Edmondson on the back end, Sherratt. I mean, they're fucking tough D on the back end, and they made guys pay. And certainly up front, we saw what happened. Some of the young kids came through. It was awesome to see what they did. But Price, it was almost like Price's last hurrah, the way we look at it now, because I don't know where the hell he fits with this team, or is he gonna be healthy enough to play? Who knows? Is he gonna play 20 games next year and then play in the playoffs? I don't know. It seems to me when I look at that whole thing, it's I don't know if he wants to be here anymore. I don't think I've heard him come out and say, listen, I don't want to go anywhere. I love Montreal. My favorite, I love it here. I've been here since the beginning. I want to retire. I haven't heard that from him. So I don't know if he really wants to be here.
Well, yeah, it's tough to say. He might not even be healthy enough to play again. So we just don't know. But back to the coaching, Tim, you played for a few big name coaches who were known to be motivators, namely Iron Mike.
You mean bullies? Was that why you
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
did it work at all? Did that
no,
work?
for sure. And I actually, as much as I kind of joke around with those stories, it's, I still believe in that kind of, I don't know, maybe a little bit, it's a little too much at times, but I don't know. You get like Mr. Nice. At least this is my experience, but like I just felt like the coaches that were just like, Mr. Nice guy, it's just like eventually they have no control, and then it's just like a mess. And then it's like you start losing, and then it's like eventually you're playing for yourself, and clearly I never won anything. That's why I'm saying that. But no, it's just yeah. I kind of got the end of that era. Obviously, I had Keenan and late in my career in Russia, which was like the worst because it's like I understood English and no one else did. So I think he just thought it was like, hey, I can be like 89 Keenan. But it was, yeah, I don't know. I still like, I think the best coach is like one that you kind of fear, but also respect, and that's not, I don't know. But yeah, I believe in the old school way. Like I said, I don't know how, I don't know. Some of the tactics were a little too much. I know Babcock did a few things. Maybe that's a little too much, but it is different times now, I guess. I don't
Is
know.
that kind of why guys like Babcock and Keenan you haven't seen back into the NHL?
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to I don't think they would be able to do that today. There's no way. There's no way they'd get canceled. Clearly, so it's, I think I think you could still do it, like accountability, and then just kind of, I just felt like when I played, and I wasn't much of an NHL career guy, but like I just felt like every practice for me, because I didn't know if I was going to be like sent down or called up or whatever it was, but it's like every practice I was nervous to make like a turnover or mistake. And now you watch the game and there's like a million turnovers, which is whatever. It's fun to watch because like everyone's flying everywhere, but I just count them out the amount of times I would have been sent down in a lot of the plays in today's game. But it's and a lot of it I had to do with just, yeah, I mean, coaching, just being, you just knew you weren't gonna like, it's not gonna be okay. It's like, hey, it's okay, don't worry about it, don't do it again. It was like, fuck you doing, kind of. And you wanted to be kind of accountable to your teammates. So like I said, I don't think those guys, yeah, clearly I don't think they could do what they were doing. I don't know where the line is of you can kind of do it a little bit at least, but I think it works. I don't know. Then again, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, anyway, I come in I was there in the day, right, in the 80s, where like you just did it, shut the fuck up and do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Or you can go down and do it in the American League if you want. And that's kind of, I guess, in a sense, the power coaches and management had over you back in the day. There's no free agency. You know, players were only not making a whole lot of money. It was like, now today you got a guy making 10 million, a fucking coach making 3, and you're gonna tell the coach where to go. You're gonna get rid of this player. You're gonna, you got to manage his ice time, but you got to try and also get the best out of guys who make that kind of money, right? And again, I'm glad guys make money, but earn it every night. Come show up and fucking play. Don't like tiptoe through the tulips 2-3 nights in a row. Like, fuck, it's too tough on me. I never liked that. I don't like it then. I don't like it now. Like I said, and talk about coaches. A guy like Babcock, right? He was tough on guys, and he was a prick. And I think a lot of time, really, when you take a step back and look at the ego involved in that with him, is he able to change? Like, I believe in second chance. I don't believe this guy should be fucking canceled forever because of what he did to fucking this one or that one. And I know Chelly didn't like him. I know that the fucking Commodore guy, he hated him, right? Like, yeah, it's like crazy. But okay, we all had, like, I had coaches I couldn't stand too, right? I get it. But I don't think that guy should be canceled the rest of his life because, he maybe made some mistakes, or if he had a do-over, he might change that. I don't know.
Yeah, he did what he had to do to win it. That's the thing, though, is these coaches, they won. Like, like Keenan, it was like I could think what I think, but at the end of the day, I'm like, this guy he won a cup. He knows what it takes. He's got a lot of wins. Like, who am I to sit here and think I'm the victim? But at the end of the day, that's it is different times. And I believe I agree with Nux. I don't, everyone can change. I could tell you a lot of guys hate Babcock, but they're also, happy they won a cup.
Right.
So, I mean, you can go both ways, but yeah.
And the guys who hate him would say, well, they could have won with fucking anybody in there,
Yeah.
you know, but it's not true, I don't think.
Treg?
Oh, all right. So talking about coaches there next. Perron and Milbury, what was the difference between their coaching styles?
Ron just didn't really understand the game, you know, just didn't really, he wasn't a good coach,
Oh, really? Okay.
really, as dumb as a stump. And, but that's what the whole team called him Puddinghead. I mean, Puddinghead. Does that tell you something? The whole fucking
Yeah.
team. Yeah. Now I say it because, you know, whatever. I put the shit I have with him, I put behind me, and I've met with him. I've talked with him. I don't have a problem with Jean Perron, but this is the truth. He was not an intelligent guy. He wasn't, as far as the game. I really, and anybody who tells you he was is full of shit, and they're lying. And that year in '86, Bob Gainey, Larry Robinson took control of that team, and then certainly Patrick Warren, Claude Lemieux, the young guys. We had a great group of guys, and we were able to do it with him, despite him on the bench. And like, he was gone the next year. I mean, the guy won a Stanley Cup his first year. He was gone the next year.
Yeah.
What's that tell you? And where'd he go? I went to Quebec. They found out, well, ooh, this guy really doesn't know what he's talking about. He's fucking gone, you know. And listen, he got an opportunity, and you know, he ended up winning a cup, you know. God bless him. He
Thanks,
got a
Patrick.
ring, and you know,
Is
Well,
he,
more
did you like
more
call
than-
him putting,
more than
putting head
Patrick.
to his, did you
More
call him
than
putting head
Patrick.
to his face? Like, were you just like coaching?
no,
Oh.
guys were on the bench, like on the ice and practice.
Okay,
He'd be
okay.
skating around, and guys would go,
Like,
they'd be
he's
going,
amazing.
pudding. Guys would be saying, and he never knew what pudding meant, you know. I think he might now, but
What about-
pudding,
what about-
Was he like a hard coach? Was he like kind of, you know, would he keep you accountable, or just clueless? Just fooled everyone?
clueless. Yeah, clueless. You know,
Yeah.
It's like working
Cool.
with Treg.
Ah, oh, Blaine. One day. What about Milbury? What was he like?
Mike Milbury, I go through a wall for him. I love playing for him. Didn't have a problem with Mike Milbury whatsoever. I think, you know, his management skills when he was in the island weren't the best. I think him leaving Boston was the worst thing for him in his career, as far as the coaching part
Mhm.
and maybe management. I think if he stayed around Sinden a little longer in that organization, he'd have been better off in Boston, and he ended up in the island. I really liked Mike, you know. I liked playing for him. I did, not because he named me the all-star team, none of that, got nothing to do with it. I just, you know, he treated the guys like, you know, adults, and he treated you well, but he'd kick you in the ass if you needed it. And that's what I liked. He wasn't like, you know, them fucking baby people, and you know, he expected you to show up and play. And you know, he'd back you up too as a coach, which was awesome.
Now, Tim, when you were in Russia, not a lot of people spoke English. So did you and any of the other English speakers kind of do the same thing, kind of skate around the ice calling coaches' names, or?
Like, yeah, I didn't even know the coaches' names. By the end of it, it was just like, you know, yeah, I mean, it was that was probably the hardest part, was language, you know, but the language barrier. But we were lucky though, because you still, you know, like you can do anything with your phone now, right? So, I mean, you just Google Translate and all that stuff. I wish I would have learned the language a little bit, you know, more, because I did.
Should have got Babel.
Yeah, I learned it enough, but oh yeah, I mean, it would just be like, practice would be like just getting the end of the line, you know. No, because there was one team I played on, there was zero English, and it was just like, I would just assume they're always saying good things about me. But yeah, it was good though. That's a great league. I'm lucky that I got a chance to play there and even live there. I think nowadays, today, like, more people want to know about Russia. and it's not many people get a chance to live there. So I have a lot of gratitude, I guess you want to call it, towards that opportunity. Even though I got a lot of fucking shit stories too, but I'm not gonna bore you with them.
Yeah, I've gotten in trouble in St. Petersburg a few times. I get it. Those cops are not fast. You can outrun those guys. I'm telling you.
I've never been
Yeah.
to Russia. I've been to Ukraine, but not Russia. So I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I've been to Russia. Culture shock first time I went.
Yeah, they're sneaky. You take a taxi and they would just like all of a sudden have no
Yeah.
change,
Yeah.
and they're like
Convenient.
checking
Yeah.
everywhere. It's like, all right, I'm not gonna, and then I'm arguing in English, he's yelling in Russian, and I'm just like, I don't have time for this. But yeah,
Keep it. Keep the money.
yeah,
Keep
I was
it.
just like, keep it. I'll just get
Keep it.
robbed again. Screw it. St. Petersburg's like it's like Scandinavia basically. Like that's a pretty actually fun city, and it's right there. What it borders Finland, right? You can just go.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's right on the water. That's why I ended up there.
Gotcha.
So AK Bears, why didn't they keep you?
Because I had a real shitty playoffs.
But you led them in scoring.
I know. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's like I don't like, and I get it, but I was also like,
I love your honesty, Tim.
no, I had a
No, but a lot of guys won't say that. It's like,
no,
oh,
I was awful, and I kind of regret that.
I didn't
Not-
speak enough Russian. You
Yeah.
said I sucked in the playoffs. That's
No,
not a lot
yeah,
of guys
no.
will do that.
I sucked in the playoffs for sure. I think my attitude was kind of shitty too. But they I think they got word too that I was like trying to go somewhere else. It was all messed up. But then they they cut ties with me and they paid me what I was owed, which was like a percentage, and they bought me out. And I was lucky because that team was, as professional as it gets, and they were awesome. And I think, it was the first year, like they didn't make it past the first round. Like I'm saying, there's a common denominator here, and like a lot of my seasons where we lose, and it's not. I'm starting to realize it's not everyone else, but it's no. And so they were just really upset about that. And when you're done playing over there, it's not like, hey, season's over, let's go to Vegas. It's like they keep you for like 30 days, and then they just skate you, and like you practice the next day like nothing. It's the craziest thing. Like you'll just have a regular practice the next day. Guys are like hooting and hollering, and like it's like we just lost, and and then their contracts run till like the end of April, and they're play, they have the right to do that because you're still under contract. But
Right.
yeah, no, I was kind of that suitcase at the end of my year. I think it was tough. Russia was tough because I never got like I can go on and say like I could have stayed here and there, but when you're kind of getting in Europe in general, when you're playing over there, you gotta have like they gotta put you with another kind of import or someone who that speaks your language. Like that's
Somebody you can talk to.
yeah, someone what I mean. Like so, because a lot of guys, there is a guy like Nigel Dawes. I don't know if you know the name, but he's been
Yep.
he was
Yep.
over there forever, and it was awesome because he was like him, Brandon Boshenski, and Boyd. I think his first name Daryl Boyd or I don't know, the guy that was in Calgary for a little bit. But they were aligned for like 6 years, and they were awesome. They were like one of the best lines in the league. So I feel like I can go on and on here, but maybe don't let me do that.
Oh no.
Blaine runs it. I just show up.
That's awesome.
People are getting tired of our stories. We figure we bring somebody in with better stories.
Yeah, my whatever. You guys want to know more about my failures? Is that what you're trying to
Well,
It's therapy for us.
you get a winner in Knuckles and then Tim.
Yeah. No, it's I was in a couple finals I always, maybe I'm not saying like this, but playoffs are playoffs. I don't care what league it's in. I mean, it's a grind and it's hard. And I just remember playing in a couple playoffs where like you just go, and I'm sure it was normal, but you go through the lineup onto the other team and you're just like, I heard this guy's, wife's cheating on him. So make sure you let him know. It's like you got to deal with possibly 7 games of just, that kind of just bullseye and just kind of, as Nux knows, it's a grind everywhere. And it was hard in every country I played in for sure.
Yep.
I don't think people understand just how hard it is to play that at that level. I mean, even it's maybe not the NHL, but other leagues as well. I don't think there's a single person at the end of a playoff that is walking normally.
Well, it's just the intensity of just goes up, right? Because it's for all the marbles during the regular. Like honestly, the NHL is ridiculous. It's almost it's I can't should say unfair. It's just the quality of the product when you're playing, 4 or 5 games a week. It's crazy with the travel and then okay, the regular season's over and you go in the playoffs. That I mean, yeah, it's awesome. It's a true test of can you survive, get through it somewhat healthy with your better players and really come and show up and play every night. That's why when you look at what Colorado did this year, only losing 4 games, that's pretty incredible what they did. But and that's after playing those 82 games. Like it's a little bit of greed, I think, on the owner's part. They'll never pull back. If they could get it done, just take 10 games off the schedule, 72 games, and at least, spread some game, give the guys a little bit more of a break. I think you get a much better product. And then maybe there's so many goddamn teams like the 32. I remember, when we're in the old Adams division, you play Boston 8 times during the season, 4 there, 4 in Montreal. And then you'd play them in 3 exhibition games or 4. It was like crazy. You play them 12 times before the playoffs. You hate each other. You want to kill each other. And it was awesome for the game because regular season games, when you went into Boston, it was like a playoff game. It was not like, oh, we're going to take tonight off. You take tonight off, you fucking scraping your head off the fucking glass, So I think, I think there's other ways they can do it, but I like Bobby Orr says, they talk about the health of the players and concussion and all this shit. But Bobby Orr saying, put the red line back in. Let's see them pass their way out of trouble. Let's see them, yeah. And I like the idea of that. Now, they seem to think, the wide open, no red line is better. Bettman and company, it's a better product. There's more high-speed collisions. There's more speed and all that. And that is great. It's a fast game. I still think it'd be a fast game, but maybe a little more skill involved when it comes time to having to pass your way out of trouble and come up the ice together.
What about
The issue though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the issue though. Yeah, you see all these open ice hits and these high speed hits, but now every time someone hits someone, some guy's throwing his gloves up in the air and going after you. Like I don't know how many times I've seen Romanov throw a clean hit and then someone's jumping on his back for throwing a clean hit. So yes, you're getting that excitement in that, but then it's ruined because you're blowing whistles down right away because someone's trying to, not really fight you, but push you around because you, a little bit of wrestling. You do a little bit of wrestling and you're pushing them to the ground. Look what I did to you, and so I think that kind of, that kind of takes away from that exciting hit because you can't keep the play going because the whistle's blowing because some guy didn't like the fact that you hit this other guy. So,
but unless they have like
maybe fight, that's where I think maybe the big enforcer guy would change that, right? Yeah. Like I don't like mean like maybe that one hit happens and it is a melee. Now it's like that guy, maybe that hit's not going to happen as much and the game is going to have more flow actually, right? Now, but like you said, the same guy can just keep running everyone, wrestle, I mean, I know there's all the game's going to kind of stop and all that shit, but like, there's no like, he's not really thinking he's going to be too accountable, I guess. And then when you get it, when it's someone like a Wilson, there's no one, I mean, he's like,
except for Reeves, right? Reeves kind of like he put an end to that now. Like, is Wilson going to still do that stuff in New York? I don't think so. It's kind of like, I'm not going to get away with it this time. That's for sure. And I think that's a good thing. But, a lot of teams don't have guys like that. I don't blame them. A lot of times you don't need them. But honestly, I always found it, I guess a little not unfair, but I always thought Crosby should at least have somebody with him. And Lemieux did. And then he got Sid the Kid there. And it's like, I mean, he had one or two guys earlier, but then he kind of, I mean, he got the concussion and then, right? Do we
Yeah.
see anybody respond to that and anything happen from that? No. And he is one, at the time, best hockey player in the world. You have no one to protect him. But cases like that, I think you should have somebody because you just never know. There's some fucking screwball out there waiting to make a name for himself.
Blaine Potvin.
There you go.
Just because that's how I play in a beer league, that doesn't mean it would work anywhere else.
Oh, you're that guy in the
I'm
beer
that
league?
guy. Yeah. The drunk guy.
He's,
Yeah,
He's
you're
the
the
guy
guy.
with
You're the reason why I never play hockey anymore.
No.
he's the guy with no knees that just does that because it's the only way he can catch up to people.
Literally, they're fake. No, back to the marketing of the game. I mean, the speed of the game is great and all, but maybe like the NBA, they should bring in some of the personality. Like you look at Kadri's comments after this final, telling people to kiss his ass, stuff like that. I think we need more of.
Yeah, you had Sean Avery, right?
Yep.
For a little bit. But no, I see what you're saying. I mean, I guess that's kind of the way it's. Yeah, I don't know. I like. I mean, it's entertaining. I don't know. What do you think about that, Nux?
You know, listen, hockey guys were always guarded in what they said and careful. And, you know, PK's a little colorful, right? He likes throwing the color out there. And, you know, he is a colorful kid. And he's gonna definitely have a good career after hockey in doing that.
Yeah.
How about Biz? Like Biz on TNT?
Biz, well, I was gonna get to
Awesome.
Biz. Like honestly, a lot of guys are very guarded in what they say at times. They just hockey guys have always been like that. And I'm not gonna say a lot of cliches thrown around. You know, every interview you can almost tell ready what the guy's gonna say, right? You know the
Get
question.
the puck's in deep.
Yeah, pucks deep, get him to the net, fucking blah, go to the net, fucking take it in to make a play, fucking whoa, you know. But, you know, and you look at what they tried to do here on TV down the state, they try to do the TNT thing. The basketball thing works great with those guys on TNT. Charles Barkley and company. Shaq.
I love it. I think they have some funny moments.
Yeah, it's awesome. But they were trying to do that with hockey. They got Biz now getting a little crazy, which getting close, and Talkett's there, and they try and get them going. But I don't know. Is it going to work in hockey? We'll see. We'll see. Is that going to work like it does in basketball, right? Who knows?
I can tell you what doesn't work, and that's the Sportsnet roundtable. Does not work.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
What
camera
doesn't-
work. I get sick.
I don't know. I don't know
I
if
think you
sat
might
down
have to
and
help Tim with that.
Yeah, you
So-
just spoke Russian. What are you talking about?
In
What's going on?
Sportsnet, they have Kelly Rudy and
Oh, yeah, like
Ron
Anthony
McLean,
Stewart?
Kevin Bieksa, I love
Kevin
him.
Bieksa.
I love
Kevin's the only
Bieksa.
guy I enjoy on that. And who's the other one?
They have
The
Anthony
girl there.
Stewart?
The
Is that
girl.
Anthony-
Cassie Camp? Not Cassie Camp. Is it
No.
Cassie Campbell? No.
No.
Anyway, the girl. And
This is the girl, the poor
girl.
girl.
I that sounds bad, but I
Yeah,
just
you're
can't
done.
remember. I
You're
can't
done.
remember her name.
You guys
Cancel
are
the
done.
This show's over. It's our last show.
Yeah.
You had a good run.
Yeah.
But it's basically they just go around, they talk, and Kelly Rudy's like, "Oh, I think that guy did good," and Bieska tries to say stuff and liven up, but it's just dull.
And BX is a guy too that he's good with like when feeding off somebody, right? Like he's like
Yeah.
if you're gonna and
I mean-
I know him a little bit. If you kind of give him shit, he's quick, he's witty, but like
Oh yeah.
if there's none of that's there, it's,
But
you know,
and Ron McLean got to retire. I'm sorry, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
Bieksa
No, I-
did a great job mocking him. Well, mocking,
he did
copying him.
copying him. Yeah.
Did a Ron McLean
But
impersonation
so
in front
if
of Ron.
you ever watch Canadian Sportsnet hockey on Saturday night, don't watch the intermission. It's terrible. Just terrible. Like there's no
the Blackhawks intermission, like just be in Chicago here. It's awful. I mean, Chelly's daughter is awesome. I think she's out of there. I mean, she's
Very
like
good.
the way up. She's
Yeah.
awesome. But like other than that, it's like they got these young guys like with like their suits on and like Nike high tops and just it's just weird. It's a weird feel and And it's like, yeah, like you said, it's just like you're like falling asleep. But I don't get that Canadian stuff up there, so I just get
Yeah.
Biz 24 hours. He's like in my living room every night. It's like Jesus. But no, I get it.
So I think the NHL needs more of that. I think they need more excitement between periods. They need more personalities. I think you're absolutely right about PK. I think if PK goes into broadcasting after this, he's going to be an incredible broadcaster. I dare I say, I mean, you need a Don Cherry type guy back on the air, especially here in Canada. You kind of need that, but I don't know. We're too soft.
Yeah.
We're too soft.
I'm losing weight. All right. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Too soft. I don't know. And that was our final episode of Habs Unfiltered. ever.
Yeah.
So
Well, some of that personality, the guys with the nicknames are all really, it's just, Stapes or Stapesy or anything like that.
Oh, I get shit like that's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like the hockey, like you just shorten the last name and then add a Y or whatever, and it's hilarious. I was doing that to some of my buddies here, and they just thought it was so funny, and I'm like, no, that's like, I mean, that's just how it is. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not funny. It just happens,
Yeah.
So it's yeah. Anyways,
The lady, Jennifer Botterill.
Darren Botterill, that's it. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
She played Team
is
Canada.
that the woman? Is that the woman?
That's the woman.
That's the woman on the show. She's not too
Yeah.
bad either. Like I'll give her
Yeah.
credit where credit's due,
Like
but the
it's so
show
boring, and then they have the woman.
I think she's good. I think she's good.
She knows her hockey.
Yeah. Listen, we're so used to hearing men, right? It's
Yeah.
men. It was Don Cherry. Grapes was giving it to everybody. Like,
Yeah.
and now they've kind of made that transition into, and when we talk about diversity and inclusion and all that, and you can see that obviously trying to do it, bringing a woman in, and she's capable. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it's nothing against her. The way they do it in general is just there's no excitement to it. Like
Too contrived.
There's no reason to watch it. They talk about the Leafs and then it's over. That's about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we're in the
you
second
heard.
round. You make it to the second round. Why are you talking about the Leafs?
I think that's a little more on TSN though. If you ask me, I think TSN is, I mean, come on. Toronto Sports Network. It's
With ODog there, all ODog talks about is the Leafs.
The Leafs. But they all do. They in that city. It's come on. It's funny. Anyway. They obviously they probably get sick of hearing about Montreal stuff over the years. Montreal won all the cups.
True.
And the Leafs sucking for so many years, and then they can't get out of the first round still. So they're dying for that one day. They can be where the Avalanche are. They'll all be able to celebrate on those.
So what do you think's keeping them from being where the Avalanche is? The Leafs.
I don't think the back end was that good for this team.
I think that's been that way for years, and I think that's
I think they got to address that. They brought in some older guys, right? What's his name? The kid from Calgary there. They brought
Giordano.
in. Yeah, Giordano. He's up there, right? What's he, 37?
38.
36, 38. Yeah, something
Still
like
pretty
that.
young, right?
No,
Really young
No.
in life terms.
in life terms,
Yeah.
in hockey terms, you're a fossil.
Mike Smith.
Pretty much.
Mike Smith's 40.
Yeah.
Blaine, I think I know where you're going with this nickname, so you might as well
I
get the
was.
question in.
There's
Yes, go
something's
ahead.
been killing me. I wanted to know when you played in Winnipeg, you had a teammate named Klitzum. Please tell me his nickname was Clitty.
Yeah. Clitty.
Was that his nickname, Clitty?
Yeah, Clitty. It was normal. Yeah, he was awesome. Grant, he was great. Clitty.
It'd be so
is
much fun with
done,
that.
Blaine.
But that's
this
how
is
it-
our
no, I
last
mean,
show ever.
I mean, it's that is how. I mean, yeah, you're just doing what the whole,
What was his last name?
Klitzum.
Klitzen. What if it was
Klitzum.
Klitsum?
Need
What if
some
it was
clit.
Titsum?
Some clit.
What if it was Titsum?
Titty.
Diddy.
It would have been Titty, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
Toffoli's nickname's Top Titty.
But you're like you're calling for the puck from Clitty. Like,
Yeah.
not, like people don't realize like this is your name. Like you're not like this, like like you're done. Like that's your name. So it's it's kind of funny.
Oh, I would have so much fun with that.
Yeah, we
I
did.
guess.
I probably would have been
So-
fired, but I would have had a good time.
So Tim, what shenanigans did you get up to with the river walk there in San Antonio?
Yeah, I was only there for a few months, but we had that was bringing up some memories. Yeah, we had some fun, but it was just minor league. We were good. Our team was sick, and then I left. A couple of us left after 25 games. I was only on a 25 game contract that year, and then
Was
I signed.
Scott Allen there then? Scotty
Allie?
Allen?
Allie?
Scotty Allen?
No.
Allie?
Yeah, Allie. Allie wasn't there. Al's. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know who that is.
He was a coach. I think he coached there. at
No,
one time.
we had
Scott Allen.
maybe that was our coach. I don't know. No, we had this guy. He was I loved him. I forgot. I gotta look him up. He was like a fighter, I think.
What year were you there?
2010, I think. No, yeah.
2010. San Antonio. What were they?
Rampage. They
The
had their
Rampage.
mascot was like he had to have been an ex-player. He skated better than like everybody. What was his name? T-Bone, I think his name was.
Rampage.
The games were fun to go to. I was posted down there for a little while, taking courses and stuff.
We got good fans. It was the same where the Spurs played, and it was I loved playing there. What's the original play? Oh, the river walk. Yeah, there was a lot of I think I got arrested one night. I don't know. But that was like kind of, so did 50 other people on the river walk. It was just like, I didn't get arrested. I think, I don't know. I can't remember, but it was
Ray Edwards, was that your coach?
Ray Edwards. Yeah.
There
You know
you
him?
go.
Razor.
Ray.
Razor.
Razor.
I'm a big fan, and maybe it's just because me, but I think spending like just 1 year in the minors is like such a huge thing, like for maturity. Because like down there, it's like no one, like everyone's like pissed, no one cares who you are, like what round you got drafted in. And it's kind of, I think it can benefit a lot of guys, Yeah, I mean, it's just like everyone down there too is like everyone got screwed over. Like everyone should be in the NHL, like kind of mentality. But I had a lot of fun in the minors, for sure. And then maybe I'm just saying that because I was a minor league. No, I just think it's just a healthy, it's a maturity kind of phase, and I don't know. I think everyone should have to play, but I don't know. Then again. A lot of guys don't either. Nux, did you play in the minors?
I played in the American Hockey League for 49 games in 79, 80. I played Halifax. I played for the Nova Scotia Voyageurs. I played for the V's. And it's funny you brought that up. The minors, because it was a good experience for me. I certainly needed it. But when I came in, there was a guy, Norm Dubé and Jerry Byers. All right. Now, and Bill Riley was there. Bill Riley was 28. Byers and Dubé were 27. And I looked at those guys like they were old. Right. I'm just turned 21. And these guys have been around, right? They've been around for 8 years, 9 years. And they look like old to me.
Yep.
Like Jerry Byers was awesome. Like he was a Nova Scotia kid and, come up from Kentville, Nova Scotia. Great guy, great team guy, score goals, but, smoking butts between periods, the whole thing. But, that whole era is just, man, and when I came in, I couldn't believe like those guys look so old, but it's a great learning experience for me.
Now, like the old guys, the rookies are the veterans now. I think
yeah. Oh yeah.
I think like in just life in general, like I go to play golf over here and the kid that cleans the clubs, he's like 17, just like chirp, like he just makes fun of me every time I pull up. And I'm like, dude, like I'm 40. And I was just thinking like when I was 17, I would never even think twice about doing that. You know? He's like, how many balls are you gonna lose today? And I'm like, probably a lot, but like, you know, maybe shut the fuck up.
Yeah, just clean the clubs and shut the fuck up,
Yeah,
kid.
like,
Before you get one of them over the head.
yeah. So it's just it's just different times, I think, in all walks of life. But yeah, that's how I was. Knox, just like I was scared almost, right? Like it was just like, you know, kind of just shut up and do what I was told. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of how I was raised too. So and these fucking women. No, I'm just kidding.
Definitely our last show, Blaine.
Yeah. It was a good run.
Yeah.
Now, Chris, you get to travel around a lot now too, don't you? You get to go to Hawaii and
Yeah,
hang
I
out-
don't.
hang out on the beach?
I don't travel a lot. I mean, I did for a
He's
while.
he's still on his cup parade.
Yeah, I'm still on the cup parade. It's not over yet. Trying to fight my way through the crowd. Yeah, you know, the only reason I go there is my girlfriend's from there, and we go and visit her family. You know, but yeah, I'd like to travel more, but not the case. Maybe someday. I love to fish. I'm a fishing fool. I'll fish every day if I could, and I do right around here, but bass fishing stuff. But I love salmon fishing. I love marlin fishing, and I love tuna fishing. The three I really love to do. I love saltwater fishing.
I've gone tuna fishing with my father-in-law. He owns a lobster plant down on the South Shore here in Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
and he'd take me out on a boat to go after some tuna.
Where?
That
What
shit
town?
ain't easy.
What town? No, it's fun. So what?
Clark's
where are
Harbor.
you? Where?
He's in Clark's Harbor, down on an island off the South Shore.
Okay. Is that down past? When you say South Shore, talk to me.
Yarmouth Way.
Yarmouth, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yarmouth,
near
all the
there.
way down. Yeah. We did the whole. A couple times they did the whole thing playing games. My first year, I went to Yarmouth to do a hockey clinic. My first year, I did it with a French guy, Sylvain Loca. Couldn't speak a lick of English. I couldn't speak a lick of French. And Bert Templeton, the coach, sent us both down there. We flew down to Yarmouth from Halifax, and we did the hockey clinic, and then we had to drive back together. What a fucking cluster that was. Oh my God.
Fucking hate
Sylvain
that
Loca.
drive.
I know it's a long one, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
when I'm
it's-
driving it, I'm going to my in-laws, so it makes it worse.
I like Lunenburg. Lunenburg's a nice little town, right?
Yep.
On coast. Yeah. I love Nova Scotia. Awesome.
I'm from Cole Harbor, so I'm from
Oh,
Sydney.
cool.
Yeah, well,
Sid
just
and
outside
Mac,
Lawrencetown, Sid and Mac there. Actually,
Oh, you're not
Sid-
from Cole Harbor.
all right, Lawrencetown,
I'm teasing.
which is 5 minutes from Cole Harbor. But Sidney Crosby's dad's aunt was my neighbor growing up, so that's my connection
Really?
to Sidney Crosby.
Did she
And
get
Sidney-
your stick signed?
No, I mean I'm Sidney Crosby. I'm 20 years older than Sidney Crosby, so. But his dad got kicked out of every rink in Nova Scotia.
Why? Because everybody's yelling at his kid.
No, because he was yelling at everyone else.
Else's kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
I get it.
his
I
kid
get
was the greatest.
Oh, I
He's not
heard
wrong,
some.
but
It's funny. I heard a few things in Pittsburgh about that.
yeah, but his dad was drafted by the Canadians as a goalie.
Really?
Yeah.
What year?
I'd have to
84, I
look it up.
think.
84.
Really?
I think it was
So he's
84.
at
Troy,
training camp. He was at training camp. Oh, that's a surprise.
Troy Crosby, is that his first name?
Yeah.
I think Troy.
Yeah, his name's still on the list of banned from several of the rinks that
Yeah.
I coach in here.
Wow.
He was that bad.
Yeah,
Do
he
you
was pretty
think-
bad.
Do you think Troy really gives a shit?
No.
No,
Yeah.
no. He was drafted in 84, 12th round, 240th overall.
Wow.
I read it on the plaque going into Cole
What
Harbor.
were you, Knox? 240, two.
I was 231.
So he was a 240
Yeah.
bust, a
Fuck,
240
yeah, he didn't-
pound bust.
He didn't fucking show up
No, yeah.
and climb the ladder all the way to number 1 from
I
241.
wonder why. He was just angry, guys. Like, we don't need to
231.
judge him. You know, he's just, you know, that's why he's yelling at everyone.
He should have been a forward. Right?
Sydney's sister's a goalie, and she played very well. I don't know how far she got, but his sister was a goaltender.
And you knew his aunt.
Yeah.
I knew his
Auntie,
great aunt. I knew Sydney's
Oh.
great aunt.
his great aunt.
Yeah.
His dad's aunt. So she used to babysit.
So
me. I lived across the street.
So you're both stationed?
You
Nova
know
Scotia?
Sydney is what you're saying. Like that you're one of those guys, like that connection allows you to say, like, I know Sidney Crosby.
No, I never say that. I just say
Okay.
that is my connection. to
Grew
Sidney
up with him.
Crosby. I grew up with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go to Tim's to have a coffee.
Yeah.
Grab the Zamboni there.
Yeah.
Collect hockey cards.
So are you guys in the Navy now on a ship in Halifax? No?
I'm in Halifax and I don't belong to a ship right now. I'm working the headquarters for the fleet.
Okay.
And I'm currently posted to Ottawa, and I'm working on recruiting and retention for the military.
Cool.
Are you in a hotel?
I am in a hotel right now. Yeah.
Let's see.
Mhm.
No, this
He
is
was-
this. I
I was
I
gonna
keep
say
my-
like that's his. Yeah.
I keep my room like a hotel.
backdrop?
I keep my living room as like a hotel.
You're not in the Navy. You're just like, yeah.
No, we
Yeah,
currently
I'm
have
on
a
the road. You know.
we currently have a minor warship going through the Great Lakes, so we're kind of following that around and putting up booths and trying to recruit people to the military. So
No. I took a Canadian ship. I was in Astoria, Oregon, a few years back, around in 2010. And I ended up taking a Canadian ship from the mouth of the Columbia River in Astoria all the way up to Portland. They do the Rose Day or
Yep.
whatever they do in
Mhm.
Oregon.
The Rose
And I
Fest,
went
it's a
up-
good time.
Yeah, Rose Fest. Yeah, they always have a Canadian ship there. And I rode up on it was awesome. It was good. We had a great day. It was fun. So
Yeah,
I've done quite a few things with the military here in Canada and the US, so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
My dad
so
was a
we're-
Green Beret. My dad was just passed. He was a special forces guy in the US. So yeah.
yeah, we're in Hamilton now. We're going to Toronto, Oshawa, Kingston. We're going to be in Montreal, Quebec, and then Rimouski. And we're done.
Cool. Cool.
And back to Ottawa, I guess.
Well, wish you luck with the recruiting and
you.
hopefully you can catch a couple fish.
Well, that's the goal. That's the goal.
Reel them in. Reel them in.
God, we need them. I'm sitting in a closet in the headquarters wondering when someone's going to come replace me. So come on, help me out.
All
No,
right,
you're in that
boys.
closet, Blaine, because we don't want you anywhere else.
It's true.
You're hidden.
I'm that old crusty chief in the corner.
Old crusty chief.
Not a chief.
All
yet.
right, boys.
Well,
Good
thanks
stuff.
a lot, guys. We
Yeah,
really
yeah.
appreciate you coming on.
Yep.
And if anyone wants to check you guys out, where do they go? What websites?
There you go. Spotify, any site that carries podcasts. We're on iTunes, YouTube, everything. And yeah, we just me and Tim are banging away here, trying to pump them out as much as we can. The podcast. We got a few pretty good guests, I'd say, coming up this week. We have Mike Keenan, Don Cherry, Brendan Gallagher, and John Leclerc,
I'm
former
gonna face my
Habs
bully.
player.
I'm facing my bully.
Yeah,
Oh, Mike Keenan's your bully, isn't
yeah.
I just
Tomorrow,
I call him coach the whole interview. Coach, whatever.
he? Surprisingly,
tomorrow, Tim is gonna rip Mike Keenan a new asshole.
No, no. I mean, maybe.
and
Maybe.
all those names
Yeah.
were mentioned during this podcast. Amazing.
Isn't that funny?
Isn't that
Weird.
funny?
I'm bringing my muscle. I'm confronting my bully with my muscle.
Are you gonna hide
You know,
behind
he's
Knuckles?
gonna
and
act
point?
like he's gonna act like he doesn't know who I am. And I'm gonna be like, "We're still doing this, Mike?
You go. You played for me.
This is what we're doing right now? Like, still?
You
Like,
played
what?
for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Where? What team? What team?
No, he was, I was telling Nux, he was at the end of the day, like outside, he was good. I mean, he let me go home and see the birth of my son, and he was I don't know. He was crazy.
You better not be nice to him tomorrow. That's all I
No, I
gotta say. You better fucking lay into
I'm
him.
gonna be like shadow boxing.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready.
Standing behind Nux
I'm
and
just gonna
pointing at
sign
him?
on my
Is that what you're
screen.
gonna do?
How my hands are taped. I'm gonna fucking,
Putting the foil on
Come in.
first.
yeah.
Put a little shoe
Yeah.
polish on
I'm
there,
not
black in
fucking-
the
I'm not
eye,
fucking around tomorrow.
grease it up, baby oil.
Hey, I'm pretty tough on the screen, you know. So
All right,
Keyboard
boys.
warrior.
Hey,
Yeah, thanks
listen,
a lot,
thanks for
guys.
having us. All the best. Good luck with the podcast. I know, I guess this is the last one, but good luck
Yeah.
with
yeah.
next
No,
year.
thanks guys. Appreciate it. Are we good to just kind of sign off here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
just
sure,
signing off.
whatever you
So
wanna do.
thanks a lot.
All
Thanks a
right,
lot,
take
guys.